and approved the resignation of the state-run Taiwan power company Taipower chairman Edward Chen. When asked about whether the chairmanship will be taken over by incumbent Vice Minister of Economic Affairs Huang Zhongqiu, the ministry declined to comment.
The Ministry of Economic Affairs sent out text messages alerting the media late Saturday, saying that it had received and approved the resignation of Edward Chen, chairman of the state-run Taiwan power company Taipower. Chen's resignation came after the backlash over Taipower's original plan to raise electricity prices, followed by the government's decision to phase in the higher rates in 3 stages. In recent days, Taipower was criticized for its coal procurement costs and costly contracts with local independent power producers. According to a statement issued by the ministry, the decision to approve Chen's resignation was part of efforts to push for reforms of the company. There are speculations that incumbent Vice Minister of Economic Affairs Huang Zhongqiu will take the helm, but the ministry declined to comment by saying that it will be decided by the Executive Yuan. The ministry pointed out that Chen had submitted his resignation last Friday, and it was sent to the Executive Yuan in the same afternoon for approval. The chairmanship will temporarily be taken over by incumbent General Manager Li Hansheng. With losses of 117.9 billion NT dollars as of last year and a loss of 72.2 billion NT dollars this year after the new policy on electricity prices is implemented, the company's accumulated loss is expected to total 217 billion NT dollars by next year, accounting for more than 60% of the company's capital.
Liudui Hakka Cultural Park in Pingdong has already drawn 1 million visitors in 6 months after its official opening in October 2011. President Ma Ying-jeou paid his first visit to the park, where he had a chance to talk with students at a Hakka-speaking kindergarten. After a tour at the park, the president suggested to include exercise facilities in the park to encourage more people to come. In response, Minister of Hakka Affairs Council Huang Yuzhen said the council will consider the suggestion in the future planning.
Kids in Hakka Immersion School are able to have a conversation in fluent Hakka with President Ma Ying-jeou, who was surprised by the performance of the native language teaching program. Hakka Affairs Council Minister Huang Yuzhen personally introduced the park's design and plans to the president, who paid a visit at the country's first national Hakka cultural park. Sports-loving President Ma believes the park would be more attractive for people if it includes exercise facilities. Since its official opening in October last year, it has drawn more than 1 million visitors. Slated to opening May 12th, the Hakka Cultural Park Miaoli is also a national class facility. The president believed the 2 Hakka cultural parks in northern and southern Taiwan, respectively, would further promote Hakka culture and provide access for more people to appreciate it.
President Ma Ying-jeou personally honored the mothers who were nominated by cities and counties throughout Taiwan in celebration of the upcoming Mother's Day. Ma also seized the opportunity to explain the need for electricity and fuel price hikes to improve his public approval ratings.
President Ma Ying-jeou celebrated the mothers who have persevered through hardship in view of the upcoming Mother's Day. They were nominated by cities and counties throughout Taiwan and were chosen for their positive outlook on life despite the hardships. Ma also expressed his heartfelt appreciation for his mother and grandmother, whose teachings have had a far-reaching influence on his life. Ma took the opportunity to explain the government's policy on implementing the electricity price hikes in 3 stages and pointed out that for households that use less than 300 kilowatt hours of electricity per month will see no increase in their bills. Ma shook as many hands as possible at the event, seizing every opportunity to seek support following the recent controversies over his policies.
International Nurses Day is celebrated around the world on May 12th every year, which also marks the anniversary of Florence Nightingale's birth. The Tiyue Social Welfare Foundation recently organized the first Nightingale Award to honor extraordinary nurses around Taiwan. Among the recipients, Zhang Meilong, who has nearly 40 years of experience and was the most senior among the nurses honored. The veteran nurse said she once had to take care of more than 20 patients at the same time in midst of a serious shortage of nurses.
Veteran nurse Zhang Meilong was all smiles when she picked up the Nightingale Award. It was a glorious moment in her nursing career, spanning nearly 40 years. At one point of extreme nursing shortage, she had to take care of more than 20 patients by herself. Another recipient, Li Jialing, who has been a nurse for 22 years, has run the risk of infection to take care of patients with AIDS and SARS. While nurses are overwhelmed by the long hours, which results in a high turnover rate, Minister of Health Chou Wen-da said that the department will significantly amend the standard of medical care institutions and increase the number of nursing professionals. Struggling to hire enough qualified nurses, many hospitals decided to decrease the total number of available beds. Rumor has it that the hospitals across the country will reduce the number by 10% in the year to come. In response to that, Minister Cho added that the said phenomenon would not be possible given the department's ongoing effort to recruit and retain nursing staff.
Online games will be rated according to the age of the player in compliance with the newly amended Children and Youth Welfare Act passed late last year. Set to be implemented in June, the PG rating will be further divided into PG-15 and PG-12 for contents containing substance abuse, violence, love, and relationships.
Online games are currently rated for general audiences, parental guidance, PG-12, or restricted, according to its content, much like the television programs and movies shown in Taiwan. In following the amendment on Children and Youth Welfare Act passed last year, one more classification, PG-15, will be added onto the ratings in the near future if the content contains sex, violence, crimes, and substance abuse. Also, only children over 12 years old will have access to PG-12 rated online games, which will contain love and relationship contents. For G-rated online games, no gambling contents will be allowed until the child reaches 6 years old. Several civic groups have given their support for the new rating system and further urges manufacturers to clearly label the games for the parents to make their purchase. The Industrial Development Bureau has started making preparations for new online game ratings and will implement the new system as early as June this year.
Unsightly advertising billboard signs pose the biggest challenge for having a beautiful cityscape. To improve the look of the city, the Taichung city government plans to remove these billboard signs starting in June, with the top priority set on illegal and oversized ones.
The signboards in downtown Taichung come in eye-catching designs and patterns. In the city's 7th district around the interchange to highway, it is the most coveted advertising signboard location for land developers, as they compete for drivers' attention whose oversized signboards that are as tall as several meters. Most of the signboards are placed along the city's Zhonggang Road. Although attention-grabbing, they have compromised the cityscape. To improve the look of the city, the local government has plans to remove them starting in June. Since the typhoon season is coming and the city is going to host an international conference next year, the local government is determined to upgrade the city's looks. The first stage of the program targets at signboards that are over 9 meters in height or are installed on buildings of over 15 meters in height. The second stage focuses on side-mounted huge signboards along the Zhonggang Road. But the plan has drawn strong opposition from businessmen who worry about the impact on their business. While the city government has set its mind on the plan, it might need more delicate communication with stakeholders.
After 7 years of discussion, the Taipei city government recently decided that the Yangmingshan American military housing, which has a history of over 60 years, will be preserved in its entirety and registered as a cultural landscape. However, local residents and several cultural groups are concerned that such a category does not offer enough protection for these historical buildings. Therefore, they decided to start a petition demanding that the property should be registered as listed heritage instead.
These old-fashioned, slightly worn buildings at Yangmingshan, about 150 in number, used to be the biggest residential area of U.S. military officers in Asia back in the 1950s, when a large number of U.S. troops were stationed in Taiwan to help defend the island against China. However, the Yangmingshan American military housing has become the topic of a heated controversy since 2004 as the property's owner, the Taiwan Bank, was allegedly planning to rent it out and allow it to be used for development projects. Local residents and cultural groups soon expressed their opposition, saying that the entire area should be preserved for its historical and cultural values. After 7 years of discussion, the Taipei city government recently decided that the entire area will be preserved and registered as a cultural landscape, which means that the Taiwan Bank is not allowed to damage these original buildings, even if the area will be used for development projects. But this decision still doesn't satisfy cultural groups and local residents, who said the registry as cultural landscape does not offer enough protection for the site. Instead, they demand that the American military housing should be registered as listed heritage, and they will soon start a petition to achieve this goal in order to preserve the former American military housing for future generations.
The event for May 6th is the supermoon, the closest and therefore the biggest and brightest full moon of the year. The proximity will make the moon appear about 14% bigger than it would if the moon were at its farthest distance. With ideal weather conditions predicted, residents, especially those in western Taiwan, will be able to enjoy this phenomena.
Sunday's full moon will appear larger than usual due to its closeness to Earth, or 356,955 kilometers away to be exact, making it closer to our planet than any other time this year, and will appear at least 14% bigger than usual, hence the term supermoon. The moon's distance from Earth varies because it follows an elliptical orbit rather than a circular one. Like any full moon, the supermoon will look bigger when it's on or near the horizon rather than higher in the sky, thanks to an optical illusion. The Taipei Astronomical Museum said the moon will be at its closest to Earth and in its fullest phase at 11:35 a.m. Sunday Taiwan time, making the lunar phenomenon visible even after sunset. The Central Weather Bureau says that despite possible showers in the afternoon, the weather conditions are ideal for fans of the supermoon.
There's a 100-year-old lychee tree which has survived through several land ownership changes in the Lugao community in Nantou County's Yuchi Township. The latest landowner, however, plans to develop the land and get rid of the tree. So the local residents raised money to hire professionals to transplant the tree to another suitable location in the hopes that the old tree will continue to flourish and keep the villagers company.
After performing the final root pruning operation for the old lychee tree, workers used a crane to lift the century-old tree weighing 18 metric tons and placed it flat on the bed of a large tow truck. The narrow road width and utility lines add difficulty to the entire transporting process. The motivation behind the tree transplant is that the tree provides memory links to many local residents. Residents say that the new owner has development plans for the land, so they negotiated for the owner to donate the tree to the community. This is the third time the community has gone to battle to keep this old lychee tree in the last 7 years. When the 20-meter tree is erected in its new location, the residents cheered. They hope that the old tree will survive so that the children in the community will be able to continue playing under its shade.
在小朋友带给我的成长很多，因为每生一个小朋友，就让我重新的再看了一次这个世界。
像别人都希望他们的小孩赶快长大，可是我却不是。像老大他要上幼稚园了，其实我还蛮舍不得的。
打造儿童最友善的城市，给每个家庭最温暖的守护。
The 21st century is a technology era, and digital content is the global trend. The animation industry in Taiwan has excelled in this new digital age, and Archetype Studios is one of the most successful animation companies in recent years. This group of 27-year-olds helped develop the images on the Human Element, a show on the Discovery Science Channel, a subsidiary of the Discovery Channel. They spent a total of 8 months on this project and received Academy Award nominations in the United States. 7 awards were received for Best Art Direction and Copywriting. These awards are the highest honor you can receive in Taiwan, and they have proven the exceptional talent of Taiwanese animators. For their collaboration and credibility, these animators received recognition for their hard work, which reflected both Western and Taiwanese styles.
其实这个行业它有趣的地方就是我永远都不会再做一个一成不变的事情。比如说每次我们拿到一个专案，我们会开始研究它。我们做过食物的、旅游的、运动品牌的，甚至有一些科学的动画。每一次我们都会踏入到一个不同的领域去学习。我觉得动画有趣的地方就是在这里，就是它永远可以让我们进步，学习到不同的东西。
Oscar Awards for Archetype Studios today will become an example for the next generation. It should inspire Taiwanese animators to continue working toward a higher level of creativity so they can produce more innovative products for the world.
Welcome back to Inside Taiwan. Having been chosen to attend the Mandarin teaching program in the Young Scholars Program of International Affairs, 19 participants attended a pre-camp training session at the OCAC. Vice OCAC Minister Ren Hong encouraged them to seize the opportunity to enhance their teaching skills and broaden their horizons during the 6-week training program. During the forum, participants also took turns to express their opinions and perspectives on the program.
Chosen to join the Mandarin teaching program in the Young Scholars Programs of International Affairs, the 19 participants showed up at the OCAC to attend a pre-trip training where they had a chance to meet their fellows and listen to stories and experiences of previous participants to better equip themselves for the 6-week program around the DC area in the United States. The training aims to help the participants to learn the skills necessary for teaching abroad, since they will have a chance to teach Mandarin to grade school and middle school students at summer camps and join the Start Talk program. Vice OCAC Minister Ren Hong listened to participants' opinions on the curricular arrangement, and most of them found it quite challenging to teach Mandarin with explanations in English. They look forward to the career forum with teachers in the United States and extracurricular cultural activities. Vice Minister Ren encouraged the participants to seize the opportunity to enhance their professional skills while proposing various plans to help Mandarin teachers to expand their careers in different parts of the world.
At the San Juan Township Public Library in Miaoli County, young children can often be seen learning new skills together with their grandparents. That's because the library offers many courses over the years that are specifically designed for children under 3 years old and their grandchildren or their grandparents. The library has now become one of the most popular destinations for elderly people and their grandchildren living in the neighborhood.
It is not uncommon for one to see senior citizens reading with their grandchildren at the public library of Sanwan Township in Miaoli County, where events specially designed for small children and their grandparents are frequently held, including basic English classes and other programs that encourage the use of libraries. Managers of the Sanwan Public Library said that they hope the facility can be more than the study center for teenage or adult students, so they have deliberately organized activities to attract small children and elderly local residents. After years of efforts, the library has now become one of the most popular destinations for local senior citizens and their grandchildren, a fact that proves the joy of reading can be shared across generations.
Another weekend spot for children is the National Taiwan Science Education Center, which is featuring Taiwan's indigenous culture this month. Through simple exercises, children not only learn about other cultures, they simply enjoy the fun with their parents.
Jointly held by the National Taiwan Science Education Center and the Ministry of Education, Taiwan's indigenous culture is featured in its promotion of the series of the old ways of life. Through film clips and building fish traps, children learn about a different way of life and indigenous culture. Interactive shows on stage also allow children to learn simple physics through the use of straws and elastic bands, while having lots of fun with their parents.
New Taipei City held an open audition for street performers, which attracted 266 performers to entertain the crowd while getting their certification. Aspiring performers did their best in playing their musical instruments, doing acrobatic tricks and dance as they hoped to impress the judges and entertain the audience.
Xu Kaishen, a native of Gongguan of Miaoli County, dressed up as a cartoon character in his act, which incorporated elements of acrobatic tricks. His performance impressed the audience. The street performer usually donates half of his earnings from performing to charity, and he hopes to be able to help more people once he receives the official approval to be a street performer in New Taipei City. Many aspiring performers did their best in playing musical instruments, including traditional yueqing, as they tried to convince the judges of their worth. It's the 5th year since New Taipei City Government's Cultural Affairs Department has organized the annual certification process for street performers in the city. This year, a total of 266 teams signed up, and more than half of them chose to perform music. After getting official certification and applying for a permit, they can perform in 80 public outdoor venues in the city to bring high-quality entertainment to audience.
Nowadays, almost everyone seems to own a digital camera. However, this digital age has not yet reached many children in the Hualien and Taidong regions. Therefore, one social welfare organization started a drive to collect second-hand digital cameras and will be bringing these cameras to rural elementary schools. Teachers have also been asked to instruct the students on how to use these cameras to record their daily lives.
The photography teacher uses easy-to-understand terminology to instruct the students of Hegang Primary School on how to take portraits. Once the instruction period was over, the teacher led the students outside to begin shooting photographs. One student model was inspired by Jeremy Lin and posed like he was shooting a basketball. These students have progressed greatly in the fields of photography. A short while back, many of them had never even held a digital camera, but now many of them have produced works of art. The person behind this initiative says he was inspired by a story told to him on a train. Afterward, he wrote the story down and approached a social welfare organization about a possible collaboration. They then came up with the idea to collect second-hand digital cameras and travel to rural elementary schools, which was very well received. Their goal for last year was to only collect 50 cameras, but they managed to accumulate more than 800. This allowed the organization to expand the scope of the project and feel confident about its future prospects. At present, students from 20 elementary schools in Hualien and Taidong have already benefited from this activity.
园林商店街是由园林街、重庆南路到博爱路口所集结的商区，近40家特色商店。本区因为街内40%以上的店家为鞋店，所以有鞋店街之称。
小姐，喜欢哪双鞋可以试穿哦。
园林街鞋店鞋子种类多，而且式样齐全，1分钱1分货，价钱实在，是大家买鞋的好去处。
Since May 2008, one of the government's policy priority has been trying to integrate Taiwan's economy regionally and internationally. On the next Taiwan Outlook, we'll have Dr. Shi Zhenping, who's an associate professor at the Institute of International Human Resource Development of the National Taiwan Normal University, to share with us his views on some of the challenges and opportunities confronting Taiwan. I'll see you on Macroview Television.
Welcome back to Inside Taiwan. Here are the art exhibitions around the island. Thanks for joining us at the Taipei studio. I'm Yvonne Netto. We'll see you tomorrow.
观众好，欢迎收看台湾一周焦点，我是黄静怡。新闻一开始带你来关心，马总统第2任期将于5月20号展开，属于总统职权的外交、国防人事成为大家关注的焦点。对此，党政人士证实，外交部长杨敬天以及驻美代表袁建生将留任现职。